Darling, I love you. Those words stayed with me long after you left. Not just words spoken, but something deeper, something that touched places I hid well. I remember that moment, clear as yesterday. Your voice was soft, almost trembling slightly, like you were afraid of what I'd say, or maybe afraid of what you felt. I didn't reply instantly, even though I wanted, because something about it felt too real, too sudden, too intense, too dangerous somehow. Love wasn't new, but this felt different. Not loud or flashy, just quiet and deep. The kind of love that creeps slowly inside. And before you know, it owns everything. I looked at you, standing right there, eyes full of hope and something fragile. I smiled a little, but stayed silent. Not because I didn't feel, but because I did. And feeling too much always scared me. Say something. You whispered gently, almost like begging. Without saying it, I took a breath, trying to stay calm, but my heart refused. It was racing wildly. I don't know, I said slowly, and I saw it. That small disappointment hiding behind your eyes, trying not to show, but I noticed everything, especially when it's you. I just need time. I added quickly, trying to fix things before they broke. You nodded quietly, like you understood. But something changed right in that moment. Something small, but real. Something I couldn't ignore. Because sometimes silence says more than words. And mine said everything I was too scared to admit. Days passed slowly, but your words stayed echoing inside me. Every quiet night, darling, I love you. It wasn't just love, it felt like trust, like you handed me something fragile, something I wasn't sure I could hold properly. I kept thinking about it over and over again. Your face, your voice, that exact moment, and the way you said it, like it mattered deeply. Because it did, at least to you, and maybe to me too. More than I accepted. I started noticing things about myself suddenly. The way I smiled when you texted me, the way I waited without realizing it, the way your name felt different somehow. Not just a name, but a feeling, a quiet comfort in a noisy world. And that scared me more than anything because comfort leads to attachment and attachment leads to pain. At least that's what I always believed. So I kept distance even when I didn't want. I replied late, pretended to be busy, acted like it was normal, like nothing changed. But everything had changed deep inside me, and I knew it, even if I denied it. One night you texted something unexpected. Do you feel anything? Just five simple words, but they felt heavy. I stared at the screen for a long time, not knowing what to say or how to say it, because the truth was, I did feel something, something real, something growing slowly, but I was afraid of where it leads, afraid of losing control, afraid of losing you, because love changes things, and not always gently. I don't know yet. I typed slowly, then deleted it, because it felt wrong. I didn't want to hurt you, but I didn't want lies, so I stayed silent. Again, like always, and silence became my answer. Even if I hated it, minutes passed quietly. Then your reply came, I understand, but it didn't feel like you really did because understanding doesn't hurt the way your words did. There was distance now, a quiet, invisible gap, not loud or obvious, but deeply felt. You stopped saying darling like you used to, stopped saying I love you like it never happened. And I noticed that more than I should because suddenly I missed it more than I expected. Those simple words became something valuable, something I pushed away without thinking twice, and now they were gone, like they never existed. I tried to ignore it, tried to stay normal, but normal didn't feel right. Not anymore, because something inside me had already shifted. I just didn't admit it until it was too late. One evening I opened our old messages, scrolled slowly through them, reading every single line, and there it was. That message again. Darling, I love you. I stared at it for a long time, this time differently. Not with fear, but with regret. Quiet, painful regret. Because maybe I felt it too. Right from that moment. But I was too scared to say it back. Too afraid to fall. Too afraid to feel. And now the silence was louder than ever because you stopped saying it, and I never did. And somewhere between us, something beautiful faded, not because it wasn't real, but because I hesitated. And I realized then something that broke me. Sometimes love doesn't leave, people do. And sometimes they leave quietly, without a goodbye, without a warning, just slowly, silently, like you did, just slowly, silently, like you did, and I felt it then, that empty distance, not loud or visible, but painfully real. Your messages got shorter, your replies got colder. No darling anymore. No, I love you again. Just simple words now, with no emotions inside. And I noticed everything, even what you hid. Because when you care deeply, you feel every change. I tried texting first, more than I should. Tried keeping us alive, with small conversations. But something was missing, something important. The warmth, the softness, the way you spoke before. It was all fading right in front of me, and I couldn't stop it, no matter how hard. One night I typed something I feared. Do you still care? I stared at it for a long moment, then pressed send slowly, heart beating fast. You didn't reply instantly, like you used to. Minutes felt like hours. Silence felt heavy. Then your message came. Short, too short. I don't know. That broke something deep inside me because once upon time you were so sure, so certain about us, so full of feelings, and now just I don't know, like it meant nothing. I read it again, hoping it would change, but words don't change. Reality doesn't either. I placed my phone down, trying to breathe slowly, but it hurt too much. More than I expected. Because I realized something I avoided before. I lost you already without even having you, and that's the worst kind of losing someone. No memories to hold, no moments to relive, just feelings, incomplete ones, left hanging in silence. I close my eyes, thinking about everything, your voice, your words, that first confession, darling, I love you. It felt so real then, so full of truth. And maybe it was at least at that time. But feelings change, people change too, and I stayed the same. Too scared to respond, too late to realize what I truly felt. I picked up my phone, opened your chat again, scrolled to that message, the one I ignored, and for the first time, I typed something honestly. Darling, I love you too. My hands were shaking, heart completely open, but it felt right. Finally, right. I stared at it for a few seconds, then pressed send without thinking more. The message delivered, but no reply came. Minutes passed slowly, then hours went by. Still nothing from you, just quiet silence. And that silence said everything, more than words ever could, because timing matters more than we admit. And mine was wrong, painfully wrong. You were there before, when I wasn't ready, and now I'm here, when you're already gone. That's how life works. Cruel but real. I leaned back slowly, feeling completely empty. Not because you left, but because I waited too long to feel something real. And when I did, it was already over. Tears came quietly, without making noise, because some pain doesn't need sound. It just sits inside, breaking you slowly, and I let it happen because I deserved it. Not for loving you, but for delaying it, for choosing fear over something beautiful. I looked at the screen one last time, hoping for something, even a small reply, but nothing came, and nothing would, because some chapters end without closure, without explanation, without second chances. And I had to accept, even if it hurt. I whispered softly to the empty room, Darling, I'm sorry, not expecting an answer, just needing to say it. Because some apologies come too late, and some feelings too, just like mine. I closed the chat, but not the memory, because you'll stay there, somewhere inside me, as a lesson, not regret, as a feeling, not pain, because you taught me something important, to never stay silent when heart speaks loudly, to never delay love when it feels real, and most importantly, to never lose moments because they don't return no matter how much. And now I understand what I didn't before. Love needs courage, not just feelings. And I had feelings, but no courage. And that cost me you. If you ever feel something, say it, don't wait, because silence loses people, not distance. And sometimes I love you needs to be said before it's too late.